Namaskar, Jai Jagannath, Dr. Rabindra Narayan Behra, Honorable MP Jajpur and Chief Guest of the evening, Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Honorable Consul General of India in Auckland, New Zealand, and Dr. A.K. Mahapatra, a very old, because he is a friend of my elder brother, classmate of the doctor, and Mr. Pal, Mr. Divij Sau, and I feel really privileged and honored to share the dais with such dignitaries. And normally, as a chartered accountant, we get limited to our kind of conferences and not this kind of occasions. But when Divij told me, well, okay, I will join here and attend it. And I also feel privileged that when I find there are almost 30 panelists, there are 5 subjects when they will be deliberating today, I feel really privileged to standing before them and speaking to them. They are all very learned and honorable persons on that. I find that there are 5 topics which have been selected by them. One is, it really interests to me, the education and skill development is beyond degree. That is really a very good subject, which the discussion should be very, very lively. There's another on IT and AI. As far as we are concerned, we understand always IT means we always understood income tax. But of late, it is known more as a direct taxes, because IT as a word, as the information technology became a more important word. So for income tax, we call it as a direct taxes. So IT, and maybe after some time, we'll be calling about AI only instead of information technology. We have, I think, another panel on startups, MSME and entrepreneurship. I think the push which MSME is being given by the government in various forums. Even we as chartered accountants, we have to put a disclosure in the balance sheet that whether MSMEs are being paid on time or not. If they are not paying on time, you have to provide interest to them and disclose that. And there will be a disallowance for if you are not paying to them in your taxes and computation. Healthcare and wellness is definitely a very, very important subject. And infrastructure, logistics, and employment. They are the 5 topics I find will be a very interesting and very, very, very knowledgeable, and sharing those knowledge will be very important. One subject which really today interests is beyond degree, because here the concept till date was if you pass BA, people who are getting a job. Then after that you pass engineering, you get a job. You pass medical, you get a job. You pass CA, you get a job. But nowadays, it is the degree doesn't take you anywhere. You have to have the skill for that. A chartered accountant is probably one course which is maybe a non-medical course where you train first, then you appear your exam. So we first do an articleship, you get trained. So I, as a chartered accountant, I call it, my friends, that are you a qualified chartered accountant or a trained chartered accountant? But mere qualifying as a chartered accountant and not being able to respond to any of the requirements for which you are being retained, I think it's no point in becoming a chartered accountant. So you must be trained first. So now for everything, I think skill development is one word which not only the government, the corporate world, everybody is looking for as a skill development. So that is very, very important. And I personally think that for that skill development, for knowledge, what we call, I feel that depending on your intelligence, it is by birth. You don't suddenly become in class 8th, 9th or engineering, you become a very intelligent boy. Maybe some faculty may grow, but you remain intelligent always. But knowledge is always acquired. Maybe an intelligent boy will acquire the knowledge much faster. But a knowledge is always has to be acquired. You have to work hard. Maybe you are not very intelligent, you have to acquire it. But it doesn't get limited to that. You must have the ability for the application of knowledge. But if you remain as a very knowledgeable person, then it doesn't take you anywhere. You must be able to learn how to apply the knowledge at the right level, at the right moment, with the right person, for the right purpose. You must be able, and if you are a smart guy, you must know how to monetize your application of knowledge. If you cannot monetize, then your knowledge remains as a knowledge only. So to monetize it, that is also another ability. And the third I call it the experience. That comes only out of gray hair. So that is what takes you somewhere. As a not only I am a qualified chartered accountant, but I am an experienced chartered accountant also. Having been on the line for almost 47 years, so I am an experienced person also. Here, I always feel that in corporate world, there are 4 or 5 things: leadership, development, young India, and integrity. These are the 4 things which are very important and inseparable. I think I have a very limited time to speak, so I will pick up one word: integrity. Because as chartered accountants, our core topic becomes trust and integrity. These are only 2 words our profession sustains. That person who is the stakeholder must have a trust on you, and you must deliver your work with lots of integrity there. We have seen in my last almost 50 years, I am in this, as a chartered accountant profession, I am there. So I come through various audit processes. I come through various compliance frameworks, let it be Income Tax Act or GST or any other act. There are various governance requirements under Companies Act, regulatory structures, or maybe RBI, SEBI. And if there is one lesson which I have learned in all these places, that compliance and integrity, these are the 2 very, very important words. And in corporate world, to grow, these 2 things are very, very important. Because markets that fluctuate, the valuation also gets adjusted. But the reputation, that one thing which is built almost maybe in decades with one mistake. I think in Satyam, he made only one mistake and the whole empire collapsed. And we have the number 1 chartered accountant firm in the world and the number 1 the energy company, that's Enron. Both the companies, they collapsed because of a small disclosure problem when they did that. And so, so this integrity is one word, which is doing the right thing, which nobody is watching you. So if you are doing the right thing when nobody is watching you, that is delivery with integrity. But in today's world, you are always under scrutiny. What is happening? I think there will be 10 TV channels and like the interview times, so everybody will be watching you, what you are doing. So with that, when you are more required to see, to do what you are really required to do, whether anybody is watching or anybody is not watching on that one. And for professional, that means honest numbers, even if a convenient number is available. For a leader, that means a honest feedback, even silence is safer. And for an institution, that means governance that holds even under commercial pressure. Friends, a company, I wanted to just, as a chartered accountant, I see that we always focus on balance sheet, but a growth in a balance sheet, from that a building of a nation is more important. And in Viksit Odisha 2036 or Viksit Bharat, it must be built on this single non-negotiable foundation, that is the growth achieved through integrity, and that is what only is sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, Odisha stands today at a genuinely rare moment, a state with natural resources, a young workforce, growing institutional confidence, and now a platform like this, the conflict to bring its leaders together with a shared vision. Viksit Odisha 2036 will not be built by, I think, people like us, like sponsors who are capable also, but it will be built by leaders who take responsibility rather than credit, by institutions those choose development which lasts rather than development that merely impresses, by a young India that is very patient enough to build and bold enough to lead, by professionals who treat integrity as non-negotiable, and by individuals who understand that a well-balanced human being makes a far better professional than an exhausted one. Let us build a Viksit Odisha together, a Viksit Bharat together, not just beyond business, but towards a nation building. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Odisha.